So I'm just going to mention a situation where I was with two Spanish speakers, and we were probably together for about half an hour, and we communicated, reasonably well about ordinary things, what food we like and things like that, and just simple stuff. But it got to a point where we had run out of conversation. Now, whether that was because we just had run out of, like you do, and some often happens in situations, but these people are rather close to me, so it could have been just that. But there was, during that silence, I felt my mind going through all these. My mind was pretty busy. It was like, is it? Are they not speaking to me because they don't? They can't. They can't go any. They're like me. We're in a sort of cultural impasse. Is it that they don't know what else to say to me in Spanish, or is it they just don't know what else to say to me because we have nothing else to talk about?
So now we're getting into the meaty stuff.
Yeah, and they were probably sitting also. Were they sitting? And my mind was like, are they thinking this? and it was just this uncomfortable. You often get in this. It's not even a language thing. We often get into these conversations where you're with people who are not necessarily of like mind. There's some people you can be with, and you're just friends. You might not see them for a year, 2 years, 3 years more, and as soon as you see them again, it's like you haven't been away. And then there's other people where you can just you can go for a little while. You can have a conversation with them for a little while, for about maybe half an hour, and then after that, okay, well, there's nothing, maybe not shorter. There's some people you can only have really just talk about maybe a few minutes with them, really. It's I mean, that's probably another topic altogether, but...
So basically here we're talking about the discomfort of being silent in the presence of certain people. Now, we kind of moved on to that.
Yeah, I guess it
to
is.
Being uncomfortable when no one's saying anything, like when two people are with each other, in the presence of each other, and no one's saying anything.
But,
because
yeah.
you are, well, not you, but your mind is sort of thinking about all
your
the
mind
things
is not silent. Your mind is
your
not
mind
silent.
isn't, and it's thinking about all the things that they may be thinking about you, and you're thinking about all the things that may be lacking with you because there's no conversation. You may not be interesting enough. You may not be. They may even unfriend you. They may not like you anymore. They may all sorts of things which are not particular to you or to anyone, because everyone that is watching this video would relate to that.
Yeah.
So it's basically a universal thing that everyone goes through.
Yeah.
So what is it that you want to know? I mean, what's your question?
What would be?
This?
How would I, if I was in a situation like that again? How would I be a less dualistic state for me to be in? How can I sit in comfortable silence with another human being, and not be concerned at how much I can? Do I need to have a conversation with them? How can I sit in comfortable silence with others?
I mean, if we're honest with ourselves, we can probably say that we're in that situation quite often, and not necessarily even in the presence of other people. Sometimes with ourselves, when we're not doing anything. So this can happen when either we're not distracted or entertained with something, and we're kind of having idle time, quiet time, and then we feel bored, and all these thoughts start running, and then we run after something else, so we don't have to listen to this. Or when we're with other people, we're having a conversation with them, and all of a sudden we run out of things to talk about, and these things. So it's something that sort of is there, always there, about to bubble up and disturb us, all, like very often, all the time. So I mean, it happened. It even or any time we are in an uncomfortable situation. Hence the title of the whole conversation, discomfort. Like when I started here, when you asked me, are you feeling uncomfortable? And I said to you, yeah, I can notice that there's some discomfort in my body, and my mind is telling me this and all that. So the first thing, the simplest, easiest thing that we can do, first of all, is to know that, to see it, and to become aware of the fact that we are able to see it. If you are able to see it, it means that there is something in you that is not what's happening. Is that clear? So if you're thinking, for example, maybe they're thinking that they don't, that they don't want to be with me anymore because I can talk about it. Maybe they're feeling uncomfortable, just like I'm feeling. You start projecting that sense of discomfort. So the first thing that you can do is sort of notice that you are able to notice that discomfort in yourself. So by just noticing that, you're kind of separating, a part of you is already separating itself from the discomfort.
Yeah.
But that's not enough. Because if you just do that, then that may just allow another part of you, another sort of split part of you, to actually, another opposite, to kind of talk as well and say other things. So by seeing that you're not that, you can start sort of questioning. You can go from there and start questioning that everything that starts talking to you, every feeling that arises within you, every sensation is just another manifestation. It's just something else that is happening inside of you, but it's not you. It's not who you really are. It's not your identity. So you kind of step back and you, as best as you can, you detach from what's happening inside of you. And by simply paying attention to that, without actually allowing yourself to be totally pulled, or allowing your attention to totally focus on that and identify with it, then that's the first step. But then what happens is that also can feel uncomfortable, because you're feeling uncomfortable about not being able to continue the conversation, or being silent, or not knowing what to say to these other people. But then you're feeling uncomfortable about when you notice that, you feel this pressure. So you become aware of this pressure that something in you is telling you that you must have something to talk about, because if you don't, you're gonna keep feeling uncomfortable. So as soon as you kind of become aware of that, and you start just paying attention to it without identifying with it, more things will start to bubble up, to show up, to come to the surface. So the only thing you need to do, really, which is, it's not easy, because all these things are pulling you. They're calling for your attention. They want you to say, to identify with them. The only thing you really need to do is to just keep watching.
Yeah.
Just keep watching and keep watching and keep watching, without identifying with the part of you that feels inadequate because it doesn't have anything to say, or with the part of you that feels that you must say something, otherwise you will not stop feeling inadequate. So all these things, all these different opposites, all these things will start pulling you. So don't identify with any of the things that are talking to you, or any sensations that come up. Do your very best to just watch it and sit there. And eventually, as you watch it, they will start to fade and calm down, at least for the moment, and they will come up again later and later. So you will see these, you will feel these, you will sense these, until they no longer have any power over you. But this is something that has to be done over and over and over and over again. And every time you're in that situation is an opportunity to actually do that.
Yeah. I was, something came to my mind too when you were saying that. I had this image of myself being, or not me, but I imagine, I don't know, the words silent witness came to my mind, and I imagine someone's listening to all the little mind chatter that's going on with everybody in the, like the room could be completely silent, but if someone was to record all the thoughts that are going on inside the room, it'd probably be like,
it's actually like watching a show. So say that you're a theater, like, or like you're you're the house, the theater house, you know, where the actual building where the theater is.
Yeah.
And what's going on in your mind, all the thoughts and well, not only what's going on in your mind, because what happens is a thought comes to your mind, and then that triggers a sensation in the body, and then the combination of the thought with the sensation that it brings up in the body creates a feeling, and so on and so forth, and then you start sort of going into this thing, into this whole, it's like being sucked by a vacuum. You start going down this mess of things.
Yeah.
So say that the stage where all these thoughts and feelings and sensations are happening, that's the stage where the show is being presented. You're watching the show, so you're actually the person sitting on the watching the show. You're the spectator. You're just watching what's going on. So that's a way of looking at it as well, an allegory, like a way of putting an image on it, so we can understand it better.